Craig here from Your Tech. Now, I love myself a bargain, but with the current climate around PC components, it's an absolute nightmare to find a good deal on anything, unless you know what to look for. At the minute, the AI bubble has got RAM and SSD prices through the roof. It's really annoying, everybody's sick of hearing about it, I'm sick of talking about it, so I am going to spread some positivity today. Let's try and give some positivity to the PC gaming space. So the whole point of this video is twofold. To shine a light on some of the good deals that can be had and some of the components and some of the things that you can buy in the PC gaming space that aren't an absolute take. And secondly, to try and give a silver lining on the ridiculous climate that we are currently in when it comes to custom PC gaming. Let's get into it and have a look at these amazing deals. I'm going to start off with CPUs. CPUs can be a great little upgrade, and also it's usually your starting point of where you're going to build your gaming PC. Most people pick a CPU,
that one.
therefore picking a platform, and then they choose their parts from there. And the first CPU that I believe is an absolute amazing deal, especially when it comes to budget systems, which a lot of what I'm going to talk about is centered around budget systems. The CPU in question is the 14100F. Now, this CPU has 4 cores and 8 threads. It's the 14th gen Intel lineup, which means you get the option of using DDR4 or DDR5, which is awesome. Considering how expensive DDR5 is, DDR4 seems downright reasonable in comparison, though still ridiculous at the same time. Now, this CPU may be a few years old now, but it is still a quite relevant CPU. 4 cores and 8 threads should be absolutely plenty for a budget gaming setup. This CPU can boost to 4.7 GHz, and for as little as £90, you can pick this up brand new with a stock cooler that will keep this chip cool as it needs to be. £90 is a steal for a CPU that boasts not only this level of performance, but also gives you the option of 2 different RAM types. This, for me, when looking at super budget builds, should be the absolute go-to. And what's even better, on the used market, you can get these between £50 and £75. You could build an ultra budget setup around this CPU and be more than happy with the performance that you'd get. And the second CPU is an amazing deal on the used market. It is an awesome entry-level AM5 processor, and that is the 7500F. Now, I have no doubt that you have seen this CPU all over the internet. Almost all budget setups that are centered around AM5 use this CPU, and it's for good reason. Brand new, however, these are not a good deal at the minute. They cost around the same as the 7600X, but they don't have a cooler. I mean, neither does the 7600X. So at that point, you might as well get the 7600X because you're gonna have to buy a cooler either way. Every listing that I can find for the 7500F, it is almost always a tray CPU. So it just comes standalone as that CPU. But while this might not be a very good deal new, on the used market, this is an absolute steal. On the used market, I've seen these as low as £70. Cheaper than the 14100F, £70. If you can find a 7500F for 70 quid, that is an absolute bargain. 6 cores, 12 threads, boosts absolutely high enough, supports PCIe Gen 5, absolutely amazing little CPU for the money. And just look at these eBay listings. You've got them between £70 and £100. Though I will say, whoever's paid £150 for a used 7500F, are you okay? They're £135 new. Now, the majority of the prices around these AM5 CPUs are about £100, which is still a great deal. You get good performance and you get an introduction into the AM5 platform. Your only downside is that you will be forced to pay the prices of DDR5 RAM. The next section is motherboards. Now, I know that this is not the most exciting topic when it comes to PC components, but personally, I quite like shopping for motherboards. I like looking at the connectivity, I like looking at the AO, the different connectors, the fan headers, the RGB connectors, how many memory slots it's got, what CPUs it supports. I quite like a motherboard. Is that sad? Almost definitely. Do I care? Not at all. And the first little gem we have is the B850M Gaming plus Wi-Fi from MSI. This motherboard is £110 and is absolutely stacked with features. 4 memory slots, 2 M.2 slots, one of which is PCIe Gen 5, 2 PCIe expansion slots, dual 8-pin CPU power connectors, BIOS flashback and clear CMOS button on the rear I/O, 4 USB 10GB ports, one of which is USB-C, and 4 USB-A 5GB ports on the back. Wi-Fi 6E, 2.5 gig LAN. This thing is absolutely stacked. All of this for £110 is an absolute steal. I have seen motherboards with less features than this motherboard for double the price. Quite impressed. Well done, MSI. And on that, just a little caveat. Has anyone noticed how well MSI have been doing lately? Their power supplies are awesome and the price to performance is spot on. Their motherboards seem to be really well priced across the board. Now, the next motherboard has actually been mentioned on this channel before. This is an ultra budget motherboard, but I can't help but like it. It is the A620AM from ASRock. This motherboard is £68. And yes, it doesn't have the best power delivery. However, what it does have for being such an ultra budget motherboard is 2 M.2 slots, one of which is Gen 4, which is ace, front USB-C connector, which is not a given on ultra budget motherboards, addressable RGB header, and 4 fan headers, again, not a given on ultra budget motherboards, an M.2 connector so that you can install your own Wi-Fi module, which is awesome, supports BIOS flashback, has 8 USB ports, 4 Gen 2 and 4 Gen 3, and its PCIe slot is even Gen 4. £68, what an absolute bargain. That is the budget king of motherboards if ever I've seen it. Now, I've already mentioned the power delivery won't be amazing, but this board is designed to be working with low-end chips and they don't need all that much power, so this motherboard will be absolutely fine for them. And luckily, you get all these features with it, which are not a given on ultra budget motherboards, like I've said. I love this motherboard. What an absolute bargain. Next, talking about graphics cards. Now, graphics cards are in a little bit of a weird space for me. Nvidia and AMD have got their 9000 and 5000 graphics cards respectively, and they're killing it on the whole. They both have amazing performance, though not always the best prices. But there are some standout graphics cards outside of these that people should really consider if they're building a first-time budget system or they're upgrading from an older platform. And the graphics card that I think people should be considering is the 3080 on the used market. These are still a very powerful card, and at 1080p and 1440p, you will get solid performance with this card. And what's best is you can pick this card up for between £260 and £300. If you wanted to spend a little bit more, you will see the 3080 Ti there that may be a little bit more, but not by much. Now, this graphics card is still a powerful card and will beat out the more expensive 9060 XT 16GB variant. It is definitely one to consider. It hasn't got the best power efficiency. You're going to need a good power supply to push a 3080, a good 850 watt unit or a very good 750 watt unit to ensure that the transient spikes don't trip your power supply. But what a card that you can get in 2026. Yeah, it's 5 or 6 years old now, but this thing still smashes 1440p gaming really well. And the second graphics card is in a quite similar area, and that is the 3070. Anyone building a budget 1080p gaming setup should be looking at the 3070s. 170 quid for one of these on the used market. If you can get it around that price, you've picked up an absolute steal. Because for 1080p gaming, these cards are solid. If it's any more than that, I would hang on and maybe look at something different. You'll notice that I haven't mentioned an AMD card to buy on the used market. And for some reason, the AMD cards on the used market seem way overpriced compared to the Nvidia counterparts, at least from this era. That's the only reason why I haven't mentioned AMD. Now, yes, these are older cards, but for a budget setup aiming at 1440p for a 3080 and 1080p for a 3070, I think anyone would be more than happy with that performance in 2026. And this leads us on to my favorite section. When talking about components that are good deals for gamers, this is my favorite. This is the Rohirrim cresting the hill. And that is monitors. Absolutely love the monitor space at the minute. One, you can get some amazing deals on some awesome gaming monitors, And two, the technology and the price of these monitors keeps coming down. So it makes it accessible to everyone, which I absolutely love. And just to drive this point home, look at this monitor. This is the Asus TUF Gaming VG259QM5A. It's got a really short, snappy name that anyone can say. It's a 1080p 24.5-inch monitor that is 240 Hz, got a 0.3 millisecond response time, is a fast IPS panel, is compatible with G-Sync, and it's £118.99. It's under £120. Under £120. Like, I know it's not an OLED or whatever, but fast IPS is good. 120 quid. For a monitor, like a few years ago, this would have been a £350 monitor, £350 monitor, and now you can pick one up for £120. 240 Hz. That is amazing. What the is going on? But to be honest, it gets even better. If you don't want to game at 1080p, and I don't blame you, you want to hit 1440p, that lovely sweet spot of gaming between graphical fidelity, high refresh rate, and size of monitor without getting obvious pixels. You want a 1440p monitor? Of course you do. So for an extra £6, get one of these. This is the AOC Q27G4XF, 27-inch 1440p 180Hz monitor for under £125. Another fast IPS panel that is also G-Sync compatible for under £125. That is insane. These two monitors just a few years ago with these specs would have been £300 easy. Easy. My Samsung G5 there, which is only 144 Hz and it's VA, cost me £300 about 6 years ago. Might have been £350 6 years ago. And now you get monitors like this for under £125. Absolutely mind-boggling and amazing. But it doesn't even end there. If you're even more of a baller and you've got a bit more of a budget than this, you don't want an IPS panel, you want an OLED panel. That is what you want. Well, you can get yourself a QD-OLED panel for £300. It wasn't that long ago you couldn't get a QD-OLED under about 800 quid. And now you can get one for £300. This monitor is the AOC Q24G41ZDF. Little caveat, the f*** are monitor manufacturers doing when it comes to naming monitors? Are they all drunk? What a p*** monitor names are. Anyway, coming back to the actual monitor. This is a QD-OLED 26.5-inch 1440p monitor with 240 Hz refresh rate, a 0.03 millisecond response time, the inky blacks that you expect from QD-OLED, and all for under £300. I mean, only just, it's like £299.99, but it's still under £300. And to be honest, when you're looking at monitors of this price, you're probably looking around like the mid-tier of budgets when it comes to gaming setups. So for £300, you are getting, in my opinion, the best panel type, and you're getting it for £300. What an absolute bargain. The monitor space at the minute is the savior for PC gamers. If you're looking to upgrade your system, but you're okay with the performance that you're currently getting, especially if you're gaming at 1440p, your graphics card's fine, your CPU's fine, but you want to upgrade, and you're on a VA or an IPS, go out and buy one of these monitors. And there's other options. It isn't just this one. There's a few other QD-OLED monitors with very similar specs, around £300. Just do it. You will not regret it. They are such good monitors. Though, consider watching this video, which was my 1-year review of using an ultra-wide QD-OLED monitor. It's not all perfect, but it is still worth it. Watch that video. But what do you guys think? Do you think these deals that I've shown you today gives the PC gaming space a bit of a silver lining? Does it take the sting out of the RAM and SSD prices at the minute? And is there anything that I've missed? Is there any deals that you've seen that you've thought that is an absolute steal? More people need to know about it. Drop me a comment down below if you have. I would love to have a look at them. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed this one, consider watching one of these two 8-bit do controller reviews I did. These are, again, on the price to performance kind of topic, so you might enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully, I will see you on the next one. Bye.